Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Welcome to another Everything in Bud, Spike and Bloom on the 8th. Actually on the 8th. Sorry about getting all my dates and days muddled up earlier in the week. It wasn't myself, shall we say. We're getting somewhere near normal now. Could still go wrong. Right, so as usual we will start over here. But you may wonder why there's very rarely anything in Bud, Spike or Bloom over this side, and it's mainly because it gets moved. Nonetheless, this black hair type dendrobium has buds coming up the top there, another one here, and I think there's some on the other new cane as well. Yes. So we're going to have quite a few blooms on that in the future. Now they look incredibly like infundibulum, similar size, similar colours and shapes, but I've got no true name for this. I think it's a hybrid between infundibulum and something very close, but difficult to prove one way or the other, so we have to put up with hybrid. So be it. Right, down here we've got the Ignea, which has still got 2 flowers on it. I don't see any more spikes coming, but nonetheless this has been in bloom since I got it, which is a while ago now. Bloom's still looking good, so that's that. There's nothing else going on over this side. As we've only got 2 cymbidiums left in bloom, we can obviously do those. Now, tiger tail is going over. You can see the blooms fading up the back there. But we still have some good blooms. We still have some later opening spikes. So we've still got some good flowers to look at. And then the other cymbidium that's still got a few blooms on, or a few blooms, is the Cali Night. Now most of the spikes I took off. I just left the couple that still had some good blooms on. But as you can see, this one's going, so this will be blooms on the floor in a couple of days. But nonetheless, we've still got some good ones. So we've still got some we can look at. So there's nothing else going on over here. We have to come over here. Now the thing that gets forgotten very frequently, mainly because it's up high, and it's a mount. And I don't expect blooms on any of my mounts at the moment, but we do have one. Now this is Dendrobium trigonopus, notoriously tricky to grow and not that easy to get to bloom if you can get it to grow. But we do have a bud coming along. Hopefully it'll make it and not abort. It's not a strong plant. This is a small dendrobium. They don't grow very big and they grow incredibly slow. Very slow to root. Damaged roots don't repair and are lost. And it only has a few roots. So if you start losing roots on the plant, you're probably going to lose the plant. They're finicky to grow, those are. While we're going past it, I will do an update on the Hercoglossum that Insa got for me. Now we mounted this to hopefully give it more opportunity to hydrate and stop these new leaves scrunching. And I think it's worked. Because if you look at most of the ends of the canes now, the latest leaf is not scrunched. Previous one might be, which is why we made the effort, but the new ones aren't. They're all coming out okay. So I think it's done the job. So that's going to put some strength into the plant over and above what it's already got. And although I can't get at it without taking the plant down, there are new roots coming. Now I know that's not an orchid, but boy is that an interesting bloom. Sarracenia blooms are like something from another planet. Incredibly interesting. So that's that. And then again, not an orchid, but down here, but the Pinguicula has the 3 blooms it had when I bought it, and we have buds. So it's going to continue its blooms. Again, they're interesting little blooms. That's that. Oh, we've got the last remaining nobly to have anything on it. And that's fading, that bloom. These are enormous nobly blooms, that one. But, where is it? Up the back there, if you look at that cane, the big fat one leaning against the glass or the plant will fall over, you will see buds. Left and right hand side, starting in the gap top left, and then the gap below it, and then the gap opposite, and then the larger one in the gap on the left again. So that's got buds, that's new. And then in front of it we have the Growroom Midnight Star, which is there, and another cluster on that new growth. It'll be a while because they're relatively large blooms, so the buds have got quite a bit of growing to do yet. So that's that. We've still got the 2 spikes on the come on, brain. Psychopsis. And it is rumoured that this bud is slightly getting bigger. This one doesn't seem to have moved much. But something that's a bit more important, and I don't know whether you're going to be able to see it, but right down this growth, this leaf here, if you follow it down, and at the very base, on top of the very base, you can see a new shoot. Or I can, even if you can't. So it's growing. It's not going mad, but it's growing. The Sarcochilus is finished now. That was its only spike, which I'm surprised at, but nonetheless the growth that produced it is extending. And then we've got this other reasonably large growth here that's also carrying on growing, and then lots of smaller growths that can pick up at any time. So that's that. And then we've still got the Miltoniopsis, rumoured to be Princess Diana, and I tend to agree, but it's difficult to do a 100% on a hybrid that's quite variable, and therefore other hybrids that are variable can cross over, and you could get 2 blooms that look virtually identical and they're different hybrids because of the variation in that hybrid when it goes back to seed and then is reproduced. So that's that. And then right up the top here is Infundibulum, which I will try and hold the camera still for you. Lovely big blooms, lovely golden centre, and this is at full stretch. My arm is at full stretch and it's not going to stay up there long. But there's more buds to come round the side there. So it will still be in bloom for some time. It's been in bloom for ages, and it's going to be in bloom for some time yet. And I think somewhere around the base is a new growth starting, so we'll get a new cane soon. Right, and then a bit of a star performer is not quite open, but I've been saying about these oncidiums for some time and how slow they are, but they're going to be worth waiting for. Well, there you go. Still not fully open, but that contrast of colour is quite stunning. Once it fully opens, you get that splash of yellow in the centre as well as around the outside of the lip. You can see the yellow starting to show through in the buds. So it's getting there. And as I said, that's going to be a showstopper when they all open. I hope they last a reasonable amount of time, because they certainly take a hell of a long time to get from first seeing the spike to actually getting a bloom to open. Absolutely ages, but nonetheless, we're getting there. There's nothing else in and around there. All the Pleonies have gone over now, so we won't have any more of those till at least February next year. maybe even March, if the cooling down in the winter works the way I want it to. They'll be in bloom a little later. What else? Somewhere in here is Her Alexander, and it does have a small spike on it. Is it this one? No, I'm not going to be able to find it without getting all the blinking plants out, which I don't want to do. Don't even know if I'm looking at the right plant here. Yeah, that is the right plant. So somewhere there's a little tiny spike. I can't see it. Oh well. There is one, trust me. I can't find it. And I'm working in the shadows there anyway, so that's that. Then up here we've got our Coelogeny. And again, it's nice to have some Coelogeny blooms, but we're well past the main blooming season for Coelogenies. But this has got a gorgeous central colour that's difficult to describe. It's somewhere between golden, orange and autumn type colours, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And although it's quite a large bloom, it's not white. It's a very delicate, I would say, straw colour, but it's not white, not like many of them are. So slightly unusual from that aspect. Yeah, one of those words. Still early in the day. And then last but not least, we have our Nitida. Old name Orchid, but the new name is Nitida. And these growths were there looking like new growths to all intents and purposes, and one of them is just shot up in the air and turned into a spike. That might mean that this one will as well, and it might mean that that one will, but it's unlikely that that one will because it's coming off the same bulb. So what I suspect we've got is a spike, and no new growth on that one. But what we may well have on this one is a spike and a new growth coming on. So yeah, buds to come. 2, 3, 4, 5 on that particular spike. And as I said, this may be a growth, it may be a spike, but to all intents and purposes it looks identical to this one did until it suddenly shot out the top and produced all those buds. Now Nitida is a very attractive Coelogeny, but they're not large blooms. They're actually quite small for Coelogenies, but they are highly fragrant, which again is unusual for Coelogenies because most of them aren't. So highly fragrant, and it's one of those fragrances where you go, oh, that's really fragrant. And then you sort of stand back and go, there's something not quite right about it. Difficult to put your finger on, but you wouldn't class it as very pleasant. It's just there, you know, it's difficult to even describe. But anyway, that's to come. So that's it. That's what we've got at the moment. Oh, I forgot this. I know this isn't orchids, but it's in flower. The geraniums put up its first. Now I've got to get these hardened off and get them outside because they're putting on a fair bit of growth now. And in here it will be flimsier growth than it will be with the full light spectrum outside. So, but you know, there's still a threat of a frost touch of in the mornings. And even without a frost, these are not going to be happy getting down below 5 degrees. So I'm still waiting for, you know, guaranteed warmer nights. Otherwise I've got to put them out and keep bringing them back in again. I'd rather just get them outside and have done with it. But the two plants are not the same. One of them's a darker red than the other. And because this is the only one, I don't know which one's which. But yeah, they'll go outside as soon as I can. So yeah, that's it. But like I said, these were worth waiting for, even though that's not fully open. Combination of colours is just pretty Pretty good stuff. And as soon as I get, you know, a spike that's showing a good show with blooms fully open, we'll have another look at that. So anyway, Orchid Society meeting tomorrow, so I won't be filming. Those of you who follow the channel and what we're supposed to be doing this week, we didn't do, which was another one of the final parts in the project Orchids. It was supposed to be plant number 4, and I haven't been that clever this week, and I just thought, blow it. I'm not doing that one because they're hard work, they need a lot of concentration, and I thought we'll give it a miss. I mean, you know, it could have been one giant video at the beginning of May. That was the original plan, but then I changed it to 5 separate videos, and I said I'd do one a week. Well, if I miss a week, it's not the end of the world. So we'll pick up on those again next week. And as I've said, plant number 4 has got a high interest value compared with some of the others, because indirectly you get a complete seasonal care guide just by watching that plant go from start to finish. It naturally progresses as a care guide, and it has things happening along the way. It even gets joined by lots of friends, you know, so hopefully it will be of interest to a lot more people. So that'll be next week sometime midweek. Sunday will be as normal, and I shall see you then. Thanks for dropping by. See you next time.